Obviously, you all know something that I don't.
Stacy, this isn't a work item. It's a matter that concerns you personally. It concerns your...
Your mother's been murdered.
Stacy!
Yes, Harold. Ms. Simpson, the social worker, she's completed her investigation.
And did she discover that Charles Carpenter was lying, that he had a heart attack, that he didn't go out of town on business like Dan Myers said he did?
Oh, she didn't come back with such proof, but she did indicate in her report that she felt Carpenter was holding back something, that she was treated quite abruptly when she tried to dig a little.
He was holding back something, all right, and I can prove it now. I can prove that Charles Carpenter had a heart attack and that he or his attorney perjured themselves before this court.
Stand back. Give her some air. I don't pay you people to stand around and gawk. I pay you to write stories. Now move.
Look, maybe we should prop her feet up or something. Walter, should we call a doctor?
Here, get this under her head.
Stacy. Stace? Hey.
Doesn't anybody around here have any smelling salts?
Hey, wait a minute. She's coming around. She's coming around. Come on,
There
Stacy.
we go. Come on, Stacy.
Not true.
It's okay. It's okay.
Look, she wants to sit up. Let's get...
Stacy, come on. Let's get you in a chair.
Yeah, come on.
Easy.
Easy.
Take it easy. Are you okay? Huh?
Stacy, I want you to go home. Amber, can she go home with you?
Yes, sure.
Stacy, go home with Amber. Now, don't worry about your desk. We got things covered here.
No.
Come on, Stacy. You can make it, can't you?
Amber, look, I'm sorry. Maybe I should have waited and let you tell her. Someone in the family, at least.
It's all right. It doesn't make any difference. I'll be fine. I'm just fine. Mr. McGovern, if you could take her down to my car, please. She'll recognize it.
Sure, of course. I'll wait down there until you get there. Okay. Come on. Steady, steady.
Guess you heard about Dave.
Being arrested?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we got a report, but I'm sure there's some gross mistake somewhere.
He was found in the parking lot of my apartment building. The gun wasn't 10 feet away from him. He was obviously drinking. If that's a gross mistake, then the jury will just have to make that decision.
Amber, you're not going to tell Stacy, are you? I mean, she couldn't handle that right now.
I'll wait till she can.
Babs? Hello, this is Terry. I'm afraid I have some very bad news, and I have to talk to Harold right away. Oh, I see. Well, when he comes in, could you please ask him to go down to the jail? Dave Phillips has been arrested for the murder of Kate Carruthers. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. He needs an attorney. Right. Thank you, Babs.
Hey, I thought you were at the hospital.
Thought you were at school.
No, I'm not. I'm here. Hey, this is great. Maybe this is divine, whatever you call it. Hey, I want to talk to you, and maybe I should tell you now. Are you ready? Are you up for some earth-shaking news?
Peter, something terrible has happened.
What?
Kate Phillips has been murdered. She was shot to death in Amber's apartment last night.
What?
The police think it was Dave.
a minute. No, hold it. This doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't, but Kate is dead. And Dave was arrested this morning. I've talked to him, and the evidence against him is very incriminating. He can't remember how he got there, but the police think that maybe...
Got where? Got where? Got where?
In the apartment parking lot. He was asleep in his car this morning, and they found the gun near his car.
Now, wait a second. Now, what was Mrs. Carruthers doing at Amber's apartment? Wouldn't she be on a honeymoon with Mr. Carruthers?
I don't know. Please, just pray for Dave, will you?
Oh, you know I will, yeah. Are you okay?
With God's help. Have you had lunch?
No, don't fix me anything. I wonder how Vicky's gonna take this. Man, she really liked Mrs. Carruthers. She got her that job, you know.
I've got enough lettuce in here for 2 salads.
No, I'm gonna have a late lunch with Vicky.
Want ham with it?
Whatever.
Dave is more confused than anyone.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, you know, Vicky knows what it's like to go to jail for a crime that wasn't her fault.
Here, would you pour this, please?
Sure. Hey, you know what? I've made a decision about Vicky. And, hey, I've given it a lot of thought now.
I forgot. I've got this turkey in here. Oh, we've got to use this up first. Well, we can use both. I don't know why
Mom, I'm
not.
trying to tell you something about Vicky.
If you mention her name to me again,
Okay.
I am in no mood for an argument.
I wasn't going to argue with you. I was just going to tell you about a couple of decisions I made. We can talk about it later.
Thank you.
And I can give you the name of a doctor, a cardiologist named Wynn Johnston. He treated Charles in his home. He even had his bedroom and home outfitted with rented hospital equipment, and I can prove that too.
This is quite a revelation.
Yeah, isn't it just?
Immediately, there are 2 questions at stake. Now, the first is Carpenter's faltering health. Now, his attorney led this court to believe that his heart condition had been relieved by surgery. Obviously, it was not. And more importantly, this leads to the second issue, which is his perjury. Now, whether he knew about his heart risk or not, he obviously chose to deceive this court. You know, I wonder who did the deceiving. I wonder if it was Carpenter, his attorney, or both.
Well, if you want my opinion, Your Honor, I'd say it's collusion.
But isn't it possible that Dan Myers actually believed Carpenter was out of town? I mean, he actually believed it? I'm just reluctant to charge a member of the bar with perjury.
Well, yes, of course, Your Honor. Of course it's possible. But I would stake my license that Dan Myers was bought. It won't be the first time that Charles Carpenter secured somebody to play by his rules. It's the way he operates.
What are you trying to do now, indict yourself, Mr. Webster?
What do you mean?
You represented Mr. Carpenter?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I did. It was,
In order to fight your enemy, you must first know your enemy. Is that how the adage goes?
well, you don't have to cooperate with him.
Well, how in the world could you have been of service to Mr. Carpenter for all that time without being cooperative?
I think I want to resent that, Your Honor. But I'm going to answer the question. See, I advised Charles Carpenter as to his legal rights and privileges until I realized that he expected me to go beyond those legal rights and privileges. That's when I quit. That's when I told him to get himself a new boy. Lawyer.
Well, in any case, you're not on trial here, but neither is Mr. Myers. I think I'm going to have to question Carpenter and Myers to get a better picture. But that isn't the issue at hand now. The issue is, where is Eric Mason going to be better off? With Carpenter or his mother?
Well, sir, I trust that the information I brought you will be of some help to you in making that decision.
Yes, I do plan to incorporate it with the social worker's findings. And I think I'm going to reopen this hearing this coming Friday.
Thank you.
was the one that found her. I don't think she suffered, though. The coroner said, well, she didn't suffer.
She was already dead.
She was going to spend the night at my place. She came over late yesterday afternoon. And I went out.
When did you find her?
It was early this morning. She was just lying there. I called the police.
Did anyone hear the shot?
How did you know she was shot?
I didn't, but they said that she was murdered, and I just assumed that it was a gun.
They found the gun in the parking lot.
The parking lot?
She's gone, Stacy. She's dead. I never loved any human being more in my entire life than my mother.
Where's Daddy?
I didn't want to tell you this, Stacy, in the newsroom. I wanted you to have a chance to absorb all of this first, but it's something that you should know.
What? Oh, God, it can't be worse.
Dave was arrested for the murder. He was found at the scene of the crime. The gun was near his car. He was drunk and passed out.
He didn't kill her. He didn't kill Mom. He didn't.
Stacy, please don't do this.
He didn't. Can't they see that? Don't they know that?
Stacy, stop it. Listen to me. What will it take for you to know what this man is? What will it take for you to stop believing in him? I knew, Stacy, I knew what he was all along. And I kept pleading with you, but you wouldn't see it. I tried to get Mother free of him, and I tried to make you see, but you wouldn't. Don't you understand? Do you see now? Do you know what the truth is now?
You leave here. You leave here now.
Don't you understand, Stacy? He killed Kevin. He killed Mother. And if he gets the death penalty, I will buy a front row seat and cheer them on.
No. You get out of here. You get out now. You leave.
Stacy, we have to make funeral arrangements.
No. No. No, we don't. No. No.
Just who in blazes do you think you are barging in here like this?
This is from Judge Sawyer. You are cordially invited to a rehearing on Friday.
What?
Old lawyers never die, Charles. They just keep cropping up to haunt you.
What are you talking about?
Harold Webster dropped by to fill me in on your medical situation. Oh, it's a good thing he did, too. It was my only warning that this case could just blow up in our faces, which it will on Friday.
I told Howard Webster nothing.
Oh, you didn't have to, Charles. You got caught red-handed. You had people coming in and out of here just tipping their hats. Good morning, doctor. How's Mr. Charles feeling today? Better, I hope. Webster has a witness, Charles, who saw and identified Dr. Johnson. Not to mention your portable hospital suite there at the foot of the stairs.
That's all circumstantial.
Oh, no, not the good doctor's testimony, Charles. That isn't circumstantial. He's got everything, Charles. There's nothing I can do for you. Oh, but there is one thing you better do for me.
Well, apparently you've done something for me. Do you always open my mail?
Oh, it wasn't mail, Charles. Judge Sawyer had a page hand-delivered less than an hour ago. You know what that means, Charles? He's pressing for blood. But I'll tell you one thing. It ain't gonna be mine. I knew it. I knew it at the hearing. Sawyer did not believe a word you said, Charles. I could see it in his eyes. I mean, he just sat there and let you drone on because that's what judges do. But he was just waiting for something like this. And now you've given it to him. But I'll tell you one thing he won't get, Charles. I won't get disbarred. Because you are going to clear me of all complicity. You understand me, Charles? Every last shred.
I got so much to tell you. I had this real revelation this morning in the huddle. I mean, the huddle of all places had revelations, right?
So, what's the matter with the huddle? That's just as good a place to have a revelation as Leon's Diner.
Yeah.
What was this great revelation?
You remember Gary, the guy I used to hang around with? I think you met him once.
I don't remember him.
Well, it doesn't matter. No loss. We kind of gone our separate ways now. We have different goals and stuff. At least I do. Anyway, we're catching up on things. He's telling me about girls, cars, partying and stuff. You know what? It just sort of faded off into the background. I could hear him, but all I could see was us. And then I realized, man, I'm glad I'm not like him. I don't need that. I'm beyond that. I want something that's permanent, that's important. I don't know how to say this.
Then don't say it. Some things don't need to be said.
You're right. But this isn't one of those things.
Complicity? You were the one who secured Dr. Johnston's services. Why should I lie about that?
You sound like you intend to go into court for a full confession.
I really don't know what I intend to do. All I know is that I don't appreciate a lawyer who bails out on me at a most important part of the case.
There is no case, Charles.
What about that?
That is an invitation to a slaughter.
It's another chance to be heard.
Oh, you don't know anything, do you?
What I do know, Mr. Lawyer, is that I've got a lot of money invested in your services, and so far as I'm concerned, they're not over.
Well, then you better write it off as a loss, Charles, because it doesn't even matter if I'm there. You can triple or quadruple my fee. It's all the same. When that judge climbs into his lofty chair on Friday, he'll already know who he's decided for before he left home that morning. He knows now. All that's left is to go through the motions. And when it's all over on Friday and he looks down from his throne, he'll feel completely justified in awarding custody of Eric to his mother. That's all that's left of this case, Charles. Oh, and by the way, I did not secure the services of Dr. Johnston. I recommended somebody we could trust, but you wouldn't listen. No, you had to go and hire a total stranger. That man was not on the payroll, nor was he ever aligned to your purposes and party, and that, Charles, was extremely stupid.
May I remind you that you were once aligned to my purposes and party?
Yes, and that was equally stupid.
You said we had an airtight case.
That was before you disregarded my counsel, Charles, and before you had your heart attack, and before you perjured yourself.
Perjured myself? I wasn't even at the hearing. How could I do that?
All right, and that's what it boils down to now, isn't it? Me or you?
But you can't penalize a man for a heart attack.
No, but if what we're playing here is survival of the fittest, Charles, you just hibernated without your winter coat.
I have nothing to hide.
You also have nothing to gain, Charles. You've already lost custody of your grandson. But my career is on the line here.
Well, judging from the gist of this little conversation we're having, I think there's a lot of poetic justice there.
Now, you listen to me, you windbag hypocrite. I am an officer of the court, and I am bound to tell the truth about your heart attack. And believe me, Charles, I will explain to the satisfaction of everyone present how you concealed it from me without missing a beat. So if you want to look even more foolish than you already do, you try. You just try to make me your scapegoat. The court date is Friday.
Vicky, everybody's looking for a perfect mate.
Oh, thank you. I'm starved. How about let's dig in?
I found her.
Peter,
I know you're looking for Prince Charming. And you have every right. I'm not criticizing that. I wish I could be that. I wish I could be worldly, and I wish I was half as cool as the guys you've dated. But you and I know I don't have that potential. Come on. But I've given it a lot of thought. What I lack in charisma, I make up for in love and devotion. I think that's maybe what you need. And that's what I want to offer you. I want to offer you that forever. Will you marry me?